Hello everyone. Okay, we are back with more of Deus Ex. So, I have good news. I think I found a solution to the problems that we had last time. So last time, if you watched the previous video, you'll remember last time, most things went pretty well, but we had a few problems, namely that, things kept clipping into the surfaces they were sitting on, which was a consequence of me using the software renderer. Several lines of dialogue got cut off a few seconds before they were supposed to end, and yeah, and overall the graphic performance was a little... Well, the performance wasn't bad. Like, I think the graphics were fairly smooth, but some of the some things didn't look quite straight, like they looked kind of distorted, which again was a consequence of me using the software renderer. I did do some searching, and I found a DirectX 10 renderer, which was made by a, not by the people who made this game, but by a third-party guy who just made it for fun in his spare time. Maybe I shouldn't say for fun, but I mean, like, not for money. I mean, he just did it personally and released it on the internet for free as a way of helping people, which is nice. I always like it when people do that. So this is now running using a DirectX 10 renderer, and let's see. So you probably don't notice a whole lot of difference right now, but you'll probably notice some difference when we start playing the game. One thing briefly regarding the brightness. I talked about this game being pretty dark visually. One advantage to this DirectX 10 renderer is that it actually responds correctly to brightness control, so you can make it darker or brighter like this. I could play with brightness on 1, but I think it's going to make things look fairly washed out, so I'm going to try... I don't know, 0.8, is that a good brightness setting? I don't know, let's give it a try. Let me know what you folks think of the brightness. I think 0.8 is okay. It's going to look a little bit brighter than it probably should be, but the problem is if I make it much darker than that, you know, it's going to be hard to see. There are some details that are hard to see. It's really just it's a difficult balance sometimes. I know that it's one of the problems that people tend to have with games like this, you know, the balancing the gamma levels, because some people think it's too dark, some think it's too bright. I also turned up the volume of the game just a little bit because I noticed that the game volume in the previous video was a little quiet, so I hope that things can be heard a little better now. Okay, let's go ahead and start a new game. Somebody asked why didn't I play the intro? Well, the answer is simple because the intro plays automatically when you start a new game. So rather than clicking on play intro here, let's just go ahead and click on new game and we'll see the intro soon enough. The game has 4 difficulty settings, as you can see. I believe the only difference between them is how much damage you take. Now, I know people have different opinions on difficulty levels in games and the various benefits and advantages of playing on easier or harder settings, but my thinking has pretty much always been, I don't have more fun if I die more. I mean, I understand in harder difficulty settings sometimes there are more challenges that you can unlock, sometimes the gameplay is, yeah, it's more challenging or things like that, but if it's really just that people can kill you more easily, I don't find that I get more enjoyment out of the game from playing under those conditions. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's play on easy mode. If people think that I am a wimp for that, then you are more than welcome to suck my ass dry. Okay, so this is where we configure well, a few different things. In the upper left, you can see the code name of our character. So this is our character here, and we can change his appearance. We can have, this is the kind of default sort of base appearance that most people associate with J.C. Denton. But you can also have a black J.C. Denton. You can have a, I don't know, what is this, Native American J.C. Denton. And this is kind of like a more, also white but kind of lighter haired, like, or redhead. And this is like an older man, I guess. So yeah, so you have 5 different appearances that you can choose for your character, but pretty much just everybody plays with this appearance. This is the one that everybody associates with J.C. Denton. There were plans originally to have a female possibility, so you could have played as a female J.C. Denton, but for whatever reason those plans were cancelled and they dropped the option to choose your gender from the game. So you can choose from one of 5 male appearances, but there's no option for a female character. Kind of a pity, but oh well. So J.C. Denton is our code name. You can't change that. I don't know why this field is here, because if you click on it, you can't select it. It's not changeable, but yeah. J.C. Denton is our character's code name. And J.C. apparently derives from Jesus Christ, because our character is, well, you know, there might be some tie-in with the name of the game, Deus Ex. We might understand a bit more of that as we get further into the game. You can also put in your real name, or you can put in any name here and say it's the character's real name. I could put in my real name, you can put in your real name. I'll go ahead and make the logical decision of giving the character this real name. Because really, why would you not? Okay, so we have a name put in. We have the... I'll just leave the default appearance because, I mean... Yeah, you know, I mean, we could be racially sensitive and say, let's have a black J.C. Denton or whatever, but I mean... I hope that nobody considers it racist if I just leave it on this. Okay, and then, of course, the skills. Now, unlike the original Heroes Quest, the game which would later become the first Quest for Glory game, you do not have to spend all of your skill points up front. We have 5,000 skill points here that we can allocate to various skills. But if you choose, you can actually just hit start game right now and not allocate any of them. And you keep them at all times. You always keep your skill points. You can use them later if you want to. You can upgrade skills on the fly. Some people choose to play that way. I often play that way. I often don't upgrade much at the beginning, and I'll upgrade skills as I need to, because you can upgrade, as long as you have the points, you can upgrade skills at any time. So if you later want to upgrade, I don't know, let's say weapons demolition, as long as you have at least 900 points, you just do so, bam, right away. But let's go ahead and take a quick look through these skills here. Of all these skills here, the computer skill is the only one which really enables you to do something which you couldn't do before. So you can see, if you upgrade your computer skill from untrained to trained, then your character can hack ATMs, computers, and security consoles. This is pretty much, I think it's the only thing that adding skills actually enables you to do, which you couldn't do without the skill. Everything else here just take something you can already do and do it better. Like you see here, electronics. With electronics, this is about those multi-tools. Remember those yellow multi-tools that we saw in the training? Even without any training, even at untrained, you can use multi-tools. Making your agent trained just makes the multi-tools more effective. And the same with advanced and master. It doesn't give you any new skills, it just lets you do what you already can do more effectively. You can bypass more powerful locks with multi-tools, but and same with environmental training, lockpicking, all of this stuff just takes what you can do and just makes you stronger. The computer skill is the one thing that enables you to do something that you could not do without the skills. So I would say definitely, for me personally, if there's something that I absolutely cannot do without without investing in this, I would say definitely let's do it. So let's go from untrained to trained. There, now we can hack computers in the game. If we hadn't done that, we couldn't hack computers, and I think definitely being able to hack computers is worth it. Is it worth upgrading the skill further? That's a matter of opinion. If you upgrade the skill further, mostly what you just get is the ability to stay logged into computers longer that you've hacked into. So when you hack into a computer, you have just a few seconds of login time, and if you upgrade the skill, you get a few extra seconds. But I think, with the skill at train, you can only stay logged in for like 5 seconds or something like that, which seems like very little time, but it's actually enough. If you know what you're doing, it's enough. So I'm going to save my point. I'm going to save my skill points for now and leave that where it is. Electronics and lockpicking both work exactly the same way. It's just that electronics is about the multi-tools and lockpicking is about lockpicks. So both of these just basically mean you can take off more percent from an obstacle with one multi-tool or one lockpick. I usually upgrade these situationally. I usually upgrade them when I come to a door or an obstacle that I have to bypass. So I'll leave that for now. We can upgrade them later. Environmental training, yeah, this is about armor suits, camo, rebreathers. Yeah, remember that hazmat suit, the hazardous materials suit that we had in the training? If you upgrade this, the hazmat suit will last for longer and will protect you more. So remember, we had two problems with the hazmat suit. The one problem was it only protected us from 25% of the toxic waste. So upgrading this skill will let those suits protect you, more than 25%. I think it goes up to, what does it go up to, 75% or something, or maybe even more. And the suit lasts longer. So that's obviously useful, but again, I'll leave that for now. If we come into a situation where we actually encounter toxic waste and need to get through it, then maybe it's worth upgrading this, but I'll leave that for now. Medicine, Mostly what this does is this increases how much health you take from medkits. There are medkits, like health power-ups in the game, and the higher your medicine skill is, the more health you get from those medkits. I would say, I don't have the numbers here in front of me, but if I remember right, I think if you're untrained, you get 30 health points from a medkit. If you bump this up from untrained to trained, now you get 60 health points from a medkit. I believe going to advanced gives you only 75, and then master gives you 90. So I don't really think it's worth going beyond trained, because if you go from untrained to trained, you go from 30 to 60. That's double. You've just doubled how much health you get from medkits. But if you go all the way from trained to master, going from 60 to 90, that only gives you, that's only like a 50% increase after that, so I think it's not worth it. So I'll leave that at train, probably. I'm not going to upgrade it beyond that, unless we really have so many skill points later that we really just are just itching for something to upgrade. Swimming, you don't really do that much swimming in this game. This is, again, this is one of those things where it's like, there are definitely moments where this is useful. There are moments where you swim in the game and this is a useful skill to have, but mostly it's just kind of a waste because, again, you don't swim that much. You don't swim that often in this game. So if I run into a situation where where I really need to swim for a long period of time and I'm really having trouble with it, I can upgrade this, but I'll leave that for now. And then the rest is just weapons. Weapons demolition, yeah, I never upgrade this because this is about stuff like grenades. Now, it is useful if you upgrade this. Remember the lambs? Remember disarming those lambs, those beeping bombs in the training? If you upgrade this, one thing this does is it gives you more time to disarm lambs and things like that. That is useful, but again, how often do you have to do that? You don't have to do that very often in the game. Something that you have to do pretty rarely. I don't really feel like it's worth sinking skill points into that, especially since I can already do it at the lowest setting. I mean, you just have to be fast. If you're fast enough, you can already disarm those things at the lowest setting, so I don't really think it's worth it to upgrade this. Heavy weapons. This is, yeah, stuff like flamethrowers, LAWs, which are lightweight attack weapons, or I think it's lightweight anti-tank weapons, and the experimental plaza and GEP guns. The thing is, these weapons already do so much damage. These are high-powered weapons. Even at the untrained level, those weapons do so much damage. You don't need to upgrade them. Low-tech weapons. This is tempting. I tend to use melee weapons because that saves on ammunition, so it's tempting to upgrade this, but let's hold off on that for now. I'll try and see how far I can get leaving this at untrained. And then pistol. Oh, there's a bug in this game. You can click on downgrade, and you can actually... your pistol skill always stays at trained, but if you click on downgrade, you can actually get the skill points back from this and use them on something else. but your pistol skill will actually still stay as trained. So you don't lose any pistol skill, but you get the skill points back from this. So you can click on downgrade to get some skill points. It's kind of a cheat. I won't do that. I'm going to try and play this game without cheats as much as possible because I want to get the real authentic Deus Ex experience. The game actually has a fairly extensive set of cheat codes built into it. Some of them are interesting, some of them I might show off later just for fun to experiment. But when I'm actually playing the game properly, I'm going to try and play without cheats. So, and then weapons rifle. Now, I don't use the sniper rifle that often, but when you do use it, it's definitely helpful to be able to shoot straight. You'll see. You'll see when I start using the sniper rifle just how wobbly it is, how much the weapon just kind of wobbles around when you're trying to shoot something far away. I'll go ahead and leave this for now. I think this is probably one of the first things that I upgrade, but I'll leave this at untrained just so you can see how much it actually wobbles around when we're trying to use the sniper rifle. So I'll leave this for now, but I'll upgrade that soon, I think. So, yeah, so what I upgrade? Just computer and medicine, yeah. Everything else can be upgraded later on an as-needed basis. Let's go ahead and say start game and get ready to see that famous intro that I skipped over the last time.
Your appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the Senator.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting, is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around, and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. But the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
UNATCO?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He's relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience, and their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The augmentation project?
Among other things, but I must admit that I have been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress. If necessary, the primary will be terminated.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again. A new age. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon that city will be a reality, and we will be crowned its kings. Or better than kings. Gods.
People who wanted to be gods, and that's kind of basically the basis of the name Deus Ex of the game. It's basically it's about transhumanism. It's about people turning into gods with various results and various by various means and with various consequences as a result of their efforts. And did my game just crash? My game has stopped responding. Oh, there we go. Sometimes that happens. I was worried that the game wasn't going to recover, but it actually, I have this problem sometimes with the DirectX 10 renderer where it just freezes up like that for several seconds, and it looks like the game's crashed, but then suddenly starts responding again. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, people. This is basically what it's going to look like at night. So, tell me, please, is this too dark? Or is it too light? I don't know. I think it's okay. I think this is okay, but give me some feedback, please, because I'd be curious to see what you think. So let me just quickly review what we have here. So you can see at the bottom we have our, well, I was going to say that's our inventory, but actually this is our inventory, but everything in the inventory is on this sort of what do you call it? Not a task bar, but a inventory bar. I don't know, at the bottom. So we have a pistol loaded with 10mm ammo. We have an electric prod for non-lethal takedowns. And we have, I think we have just one med kit, which again will heal, at our current level of training, will heal 60 health points. And we have a key ring, which I think currently doesn't have any keys on it. So, I'm going to guess that we just got here on this boat. Yeah, and here's the UNATCO boat pilot whom we can speak with.
My orders are to stay here. I'd let the bots do the fighting if I were you.
Okay.
I'm glad this thing has bulletproof glass.
I'm sure you are, sir.
My orders are to stay here.
Alright, fair. Fair enough.
Heads up, JC. Your brother Paul is on his way to meet you at the dock. The NSF is raiding the island and shots have been fired. I repeat, find Paul. I will monitor your situation from HQ.
Now, we don't know who that is yet, really. Obviously, somebody named Alex Jacobson, but who is that? I'm not going to worry too much about it right now. We'll meet him later, I think. But right now, that figure who is trying to make his way over to us, and has had a little trouble doing so,
I thought you were in Hong Kong.
is Paul Denton.
Welcome to the Coalition, JC. I might as well start using your code name. Think I'd miss my brother's first day? Didn't think you'd have a choice. What's going on? The NSF. They hit one of our shipments. A few of them got away, but we trapped the rest in the statue. What are we waiting for? Looks like a textbook assault. The NSF took one of our agents hostage. The bots are holding the perimeter, but my orders are to hold back and send you in alone. I think someone high up wants to see how you handle the situation. All I've got with me is a pistol and an electric prod. I don't mind a test, but UNATCO better issue some hardware. Remember that we're police. Stick with the prod. It'll stun your opponents or knock them unconscious. A non-lethal takedown is always the most silent way to eliminate resistance. Just in case, though, Manderley wants you to pick an additional weapon. A sniper rifle, a GEP gun, or a mini crossbow.
Okay, so here we can choose what additional weapon we get from Paul. So yeah, so this is our character JC Denton, the guy with the really gravelly voice. And this is Paul Denton, who has a slightly less gravelly voice. And their voices kind of reflect their personalities. Paul is more, he's a softer type. He's more human, he's more sympathetic. And JC is the real rugged kind of stoic guy who never shows any emotions. Interestingly enough, both of these brothers are played by the same voice actor, which I wouldn't have noticed. They sound different enough to me that I didn't think they were the same voice actor, but apparently they are. So, we can choose one of these weapons. We can choose the long-range sniper rifle. We can choose the GEP gun, which GEP is, what does it stand for? I think it stands for Guided Explosive Projectile. Basically a rocket launcher. It's basically a rocket launcher that fires homing rockets. And then there's the crossbow, which is, yeah, it's a silent weapon. Now, I always pick the rifle for the simple, well, for two reasons. First of all, we'll get a crossbow soon enough anyway. The enemies that we face in this first mission already have crossbows, and so if we knock them out, if we either kill them or knock them unconscious, we can take their crossbows from their bodies anyway. So it's kind of a waste to get a crossbow here because we'll get one soon anyhow. And as for the GEP gun, well, that's a rocket launcher, and we really don't need a rocket launcher very often in this game. The only reason you might want a GEP gun at this stage of the game is against the robots, because robots are resistant to, they're fairly resistant to bullets. But really, the rifle is so much more versatile because it lets you shoot human targets from, from a long distance. So the rifle is definitely my go-to choice here. And ammunition for the GEP gun is very rare. So if you pick the GEP gun, you're really picking something which you'll be able to use only a small handful of times in the entire game, because rockets for it are so rare. Whereas ammunition for the sniper rifle is also rare, but not as rare. So I'll go ahead and pick the rifle. And Paul is going to complain that picking the rifle is a violent choice. What's funny is if you say, "Give me the GEP gun," then Paul would say, "Whoa, good thinking. Yeah, that's a great idea. Pick the GEP gun in case you come against some heavy armor." But if you pick the rifle, which is much less lethal than the GEP gun, then Paul says,
I like to pick him off from a distance. I'll take the rifle. This isn't a training exercise, JC. Your targets will be human beings. Keep that in mind. I get the idea. What's the first move? I'm going to give you a map of the island. If you can get to the North Dock, a UNATCO informant will give you a key to the statue doors. He responds to the code phrase, iron and copper. You could avoid a lot of fighting, though, if you found a back way to the statue.
I'll see how it looks on shore.
Your primary objective is the makeshift command center the terrorists have installed at the top of the statue. But don't forget about Agent Herman. We think he's being held on the ground floor.
What are my orders when I reach the command center?
Interrogate the leader. We don't yet know why the terrorists would risk an open assault.
Yes, so the agent who's been kidnapped and is being held in the base of the Statue of Liberty is none other than Gunther Hermann, the guy who taught us how to use lambs and fire weapons and things like that. So we'll run into him a bit later, but let's just see what we can pick up here. So one thing that you do in Deus Ex, just as you do in adventure games, is you pick up random stuff lying around. So here we have a 40. Now a 40, for those of you who don't know, is alcohol. Yeah, it's a 40-ounce malt liquor, so called because it is 40 ounces. Now, J.C. Denton is not quite human. He's, I mean, I guess he's basically a human being, but he has some augmentations installed, which definitely changes how his body works physiologically. And one curiosity of his body is that if you drink alcohol, he does get drunk, and this is J.C. Denton when he's drunk. His body, his vision gets kind of blurry, and things you can see things are kind of, you know, wobbling a bit. But the alcohol goes through the system that fast. His metabolism is so fast that he recovers from being drunk in a matter of seconds, like that. So, soda. I mean, this is just regular. The can is blank except for the phrase product placement here. It is unclear whether this is a name or an invitation. Funnily enough, in the picture you can very clearly see that the soda says nuke on it. So the text is not correct. The picture says nuke, but the picture or the text says otherwise. I don't know. That seems like a quality control issue in the game, but it's not a big deal. Now this guy is a UNATCO trooper.
What's your take on the situation, Corporal?
The bots have them bottled up, sir. We'd go right in if it weren't for the whole back order.
How'd they get one of our agents?
Gunter went rogue on us. When the order came, he wouldn't pull back. Now you get to bail him out.
Now, yeah, normally UNATCO would just go in guns blazing, because why not? But somebody wants to see how we perform as a nano-augmented agent. They want to see how our performance is. So this is actually a test. This is, well, I think Paul already said something to that effect. This is the test. People are watching us to see how we carry out this mission. So let's do well. Let's impress some of the brass. Here we have again a crowbar, a very versatile weapon. Let's go ahead and knock up some crates. Oh, that's binoculars. Binoculars are useful. I like binoculars. And a lockpick. Very nice. Very cool. And these metal crates cannot be broken open. So hold on, let me tweak our inventory a bit. Let's put binoculars. I usually put binoculars here at the end, right next to the key ring. This soda we don't really need in the bar down there. Let's see. I use the crowbar frequently, so let's go ahead and put it there, and then the gun can, the rifle kind of gets to be. Let's leave the rifle there for now. That's fine. Lockpick. Sure. Yeah, I mean you can rearrange these as you want, but let's see. So yeah, so the sniper rifle takes 30-06 ammunition, and these are the basic specs of the sniper rifle. It can be upgraded later to augment some of these effects. And yes, here's the crowbar. A crowbar hit someone or something with it. Repeat. And here is a note from none other than Gunther Hermann. Many crowbars we call murder of crowbars. Always have one for combat. Ha. This is a reference to the fact that a flock of crows is called a murder of crows. See, it's a joke. Gunther is a funny guy. Who says that Germans are not funny? Okay, so I think that's all we can get from here. There is this...
Welcome aboard, Agent.
Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, that's the same guy we just talked to. This is where swimming would already come in useful. I think there is something... Oh, here we go. We already found something here. So, let's see. Let's break this open. And... Hey, it's a multi-tool. Nice. I think there might be some other stuff that you can get if you go farther down, but it's probably not worth it. We'll probably drown because our swimming skill is not very good. That is an attack robot, but it's a friendly one because the cursor turns green on it, so don't worry. It's actually not going to attack us. And here's Paul. Let's see. Does Paul have anything else to say to us?
You just gonna stay here? There's been some activity at sea. I'm going to watch the coast.
Why'd they bring you back to New York?
I don't know what they have planned. I messed up an assassination attempt on one of the Triad leaders in Hong Kong.
UNATCO pulled you out?
It's a long story. You better head to the statue.
So, there's been some dissatisfaction with Paul's performance in UNATCO lately. I'm kind of skipping ahead a bit, but it's not really a spoiler. You heard in the introduction those two guys talking. One of them said, I've been disappointed with the performance of the primary. That is referring to Paul. So they've been disappointed with his performance. And there's a widespread perception, I don't know how true it is, but there's a widespread perception that Paul's failures are because he's too gentle. He repeatedly tells people, including you, don't kill people. You can stun people, like he was saying, use the stun gun. Stun people so that they go unconscious, but don't kill them, because remember, we're police, we're not supposed to kill people. Oh, look what's going on here. One of the terrorists is coming to, oh boy, wow. Hold on, let me just quickly go ahead and,
NSF everywhere, JC. Your orders are to shoot on sight. A UNATCO informant on the North Dock can get you inside the statue. Look for a bum. Identify yourself with the phrase, iron and copper.
I think we already got that. But let's go ahead and check what these guys have. So this guy had some 10mm ammo and a combat knife. And this guy has 10mm ammo. Okay. Let's go ahead and... You really don't have to do this, but let's go ahead and carry their bodies away. Just in case, because sometimes these guys will see like dead bodies of their comrades and say, oh, somebody killed this guy, and they'll get really upset and come to investigate. Actually, it might be worth trying to lure them with the dead bodies. That might be a tactic as well, but that was actually kind of cool. That doesn't always happen that they come down here, but if they see this robot, they will stupidly just come down here and start attacking the robot, and of course the robot has way more firepower than them, so it will just kill them easily. It's kind of what that boat pilot was talking about when he said, I'd let the boss do the fighting if I were you. Let's see what's in these crates here. Okay, darts. I don't think I ever used darts, but I guess it doesn't hurt to pick them up. More 10mm ammo. That is, on the other hand, useful. And... oh, a prod charger for our non-lethal stun prod. That is also something that I almost never use. Anyway, okay, so we're about to go into a live fire zone, so this might be a good point to save the game. Oh, that's interesting. It says cheats enabled in the thumbnail here because I am actually running the game with the cheats turned on. There is a parameter, I think, yeah, the parameter is hacksaw. If you run the game with dash hacksaw on the end, it, or hyphen hacksaw or whatever, it actually does enable the cheats. I didn't realize that it, well, I'm not bothered by it. Yeah, it puts it here in the save game thumbnail, but I mean, who cares? I'm not bothered by having the cheats. I'm not actually using any cheats. I don't have any cheats turned on. They're just enabled, so I can turn them on if I want to. Okay, let's save our game. Let's type in a description. So it types in the location, NYC Liberty Island, but you can, of course, type in your own save game description. Let's say, I'll just say about to go in. I like to get descriptive with my save game names. So, what do we have up here? This dead body is... hold on.
If you want to make a covert approach, remember the Academy's stealth course. Stay out of their field of view, walk slowly to stay quiet, and crouch behind cover. Or if you have to get your hands dirty, remember that a headshot is a lethal takedown.
Yes, indeed. I remember in the sequel to this game, people got very upset that a headshot was no longer a lethal takedown. They said it was illogical that somebody gets shot in the head and survives, which is kind of true, I guess. So this dead body is a UNATCO trooper. Oh, he had a stun baton, some cigarettes, and a candy bar. The stun baton is also a non-lethal weapon. The cigarettes are completely useless. They actually take away your health when you use them. I don't really know why you'd want to use cigarettes. And the candy bar gives you, I think, like 2 points health. Let's see, can I pick this crate up from here? Whoops. Okay. Yes, I kind of picked it up and then put it down here. So let's see what's inside here. Oh, a gas grenade. That is a... Let's take a look at the gas grenade. That is a... Yeah, CS. Disperses a non-lethal tear gas to incapacitate enemies without killing them. That is something that Paul will also encourage you to use. This knife, do I really need it? Actually, I never use the knife. I always use the crowbar because it does more damage. So the knife's base damage is 5, crowbar's base damage is 6. Now the crowbar has the disadvantage that it takes 2 inventory slots instead of 1, but still, I never use this knife. I should probably actually just drop that knife. And the cigarettes, you know what, let's drop the cigarettes and drop the knife. I never use those. They're, as far as I can tell, they're completely useless. Yeah, let's keep the inventory a little bit tidy. Some people call this Tetris inventory because you have to keep trying to get things to fit in the inventory sometimes, but anyway. Alright, so I think down here... No? Down here, I thought there was some kind of hidden trap door built into this thing here. Maybe there's not, maybe it's somewhere else. Okay, anyway. Alright, so let's take a look at what we have here. So over there... Oops. Okay, you can't zoom with this. Over there is a guy walking around. And... over there's another guy walking around. There are 2 of them actually on this side. But there are not too many of them, so they're not that difficult to take on. So what we can do... Let's do this. Let's see if I can just take this guy on with a crowbar. You can definitely take these guys on with a crowbar. It's not that difficult to do. It's just... problem is, of course, if they see you, they will start shooting at you, and that can get a little bit... Where's this guy now? It gets problematic, depending on what weapons they have. These guys all have different weapons. Well, not all of them. I mean, there are only a handful of weapons in the game. Where is this? I'm just charging blindly into the fray because I have no idea where this guy is. I could get a nasty surprise if I suddenly end up face to... Oh! Uh-oh. Wow. What did I say? You can get a nasty surprise if you just run head-on into these guys. You can end up face-to-face with an enemy and not be prepared to meet him. Which is exactly what happened, but fortunately I was quick enough with the crowbar that I subdued him before... I think they're not going to see his body here. I think that's fine. Yeah, I subdued him before he was able to shoot me. Let's see, what's in here? Another multi-tool, okay, not bad. There are a couple of ways into the place that we need to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to... explore all of them. The thing is, you get more skill points the more areas you explore. So even though you don't have to open up every entrance into the statue, it's good from a skills point of view because that means that you get more skill points and you get to unlock more of your character's skills. You know, build up your character, and that's the...
Be careful. The NSF has set up patchwork security systems here.
Okay, thanks. That's the RPG element of this game. Ooh, what does that guy have? Does he have... I'm just trying to see what weapon he's carrying. I think it's just a regular... Yeah, it's just a regular pistol, I think. Okay, can we get this guy... I think we're gonna get...
I know I heard something.
There we go. There we go. Nice. Alright, got some 10mm ammo. Let's go ahead and... Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. That... So you see that green indicator on the left? That is indicating that we've been poisoned. So that guy shot us with a crossbow, and the crossbow has poison darts on it, which is actually more effective than bullets in this scenario. Because I mean, bullets do damage to you, but they just you know, they hit you once and then that's it. But the poison darts will just keep doing damage. They just do damage over and over, and it's actually quite annoying. Okay, I'd like to avoid. Here it's not even that bad to get hit by a bullet, because the bullets don't do that much damage. But those poison darts, they will really do a number on you. It's really quite damaging.
Be careful. The NSF has set up patchwork security systems here.
Okay. Alright. that time I did not get shot by the guy with the crossbow. So let's go ahead and... I know I save a lot. People might get annoyed because I am going to be saving my game constantly in this game, but...
The NSF put a commercial-grade security bot in this area. You can either avoid its patrol route, or, if you're feeling lucky, try and take it out with the EMP grenades or explosives. I wouldn't recommend taking it on with small arms.
That is true.
Something moved. Could be the lost pig.
Oh dear. Ah dear. That's the guy with the crossbow. I could probably survive his attacks because the poison from the crossbow does wear off after a while, but where is... Oh, he's over there. That's why I didn't see him. I thought he was on the... I thought he was on the other side, but no, he's over here. That's the problem. That's and you can kind of see the crossbow in his hand. Yeah, it's not very... Hold on. Does the rifle have better zoom? Let me try and zooming in with the rifle. Crud. No, I can't zoom with the rifle either. Yeah, see how much the rifle wobbles around? Imagine trying to shoot this guy with that kind of wobbling happening. I mean, it's possible to do. It's just very annoying when you have it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. He was just about to shoot me with his crossbow, but I hit him with the crowbar before he could, and then he started running away. Alright, there we go. We got a crossbow. Nice. We got the crossbow. So like I said, it would have been a waste to get the crossbow from Paul, because we get them from... There are a couple of guys here in this area who have crossbows already, so let's go ahead and toss the body there. And let's take a look at our crossbow. What do we have for ammunition? We have, yeah, tranquilizer darts. We have 3 tranquilizer dart rounds. And... we can use those just as the enemies do. We can shoot a tranquilizer dart at an enemy, and it will usually kill the enemy after a few seconds. Actually, no, it doesn't kill them. It knocks them unconscious. So it's a non-lethal takedown, and it's pretty quick and simple. You can just shoot them and just run away. And like I said, the dart will take a few seconds to knock them unconscious, but it works well. So let's go ahead and save. Got crossbow, and let's see. I think that's already most of the NSF guys in this area. Tell you what, this video's already gone on past 40 minutes, so let's go ahead and take a break here. We've seen the introduction. We've kind of gotten a briefing on what's going on here. We've had a little bit of action. We've knocked out a few guys, so I think that's a pretty good start. So let's go ahead and call this a video, and we will continue next time with doing more stuff and things. I hope this was entertaining. I hope that you folks have enjoyed. I'm open to feedback. What do you folks think? Should I tweak the graphics or sound levels a little bit more? Is my playstyle too chatty? I imagine that if I keep talking like this, it's really going to take forever to finish the game, because I know I'm talking a lot. I'm probably talking more than I'm playing the game, so... Do I talk too much? Should I just go and kill more people and keep my mouth shut? I am open to feedback as always. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everyone. I will go ahead and sign off for now, and I will talk to you all later.